Yes. And it's now recording. And Megan just came in. And welcome to Firedance. This is Steve Barnes, this from the Crown Plaza Hotel off Times Square in New York City.
Hey,
I'm here for New York Comic Con, and it is my honor to be here. You know, I made a promise to you that I was going to do everything I could to be here every week to you, and be an anchor. You could rely on me to do everything I possibly could to keep that promise to you, so that at least once a week you've got somebody telling you you can do it and that you matter, and you have a community of people you can talk to. I'm really happy with the way you guys are talking to each other in chat. So let's kind of remove the spotlight from me because I ain't all that important. And you guys unmute yourselves and say hello. So just like,
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
guys.
Everybody.
Even your
Good to see us
exercise,
every
jump
week.
on your bed,
And
jump up and
Megan,
down on your mattress.
hi.
You don't own it. You can jump and flip like you were talking about us being in our child state. Jump on the mattress. That's the exercise.
now
You
I
don't
got to
own
be a
it. You
little bit
rented it.
more controlled than that. You know, this I have.
Oh, why not be out of control? You're at Comic-Con.
I was never that much of a bed jumper. I don't think. No, I don't think I was. Although
Bed wetter, bed jumper, same, whatever.
I did check out to see whether or not I could do one of the exercises that I do on the bed, but the ceiling is too low for me to do what it is I wanted to do. But I've got my yoga mat, so I can do that. I've got my rip stick, so I can do that. I did 10 minutes of rip squats, 20 reps on them every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. And that was grueling. And then I went down to the gym and did some rope flow. I'm experimenting with rope flow. Interesting stuff. Been looking for something that was almost infinitely scalable, where I could, let's see, spotlight for everyone, where I could practice it at a high level, that an actual athlete could push themselves, but also something that somebody in a wheelchair could do. I had somebody reach out to me recently who has degenerative joint issues due to obesity, and asking me what she might be able to do. And I'm looking for something that I can use here for Firedance, that has that infinite scalability factor. Rope flow ain't bad. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do, let me.
What's up, guys?
Okay, I'm going to put a YouTube video that will connect you with that community, kind of, sort of. It will show you what it is. It's basically jumping rope without jumping. If you've watched people do tricks with the jump rope, sometimes they jump over it, and other times they flash the rope around themselves without jumping. If you take a look at old videos of Sugar Ray Robinson, who's arguably the greatest pound for pound boxer ever, and if you were to look up his jumping rope, you'd see that he wasn't actually jumping rope a lot of the time. He was playing with the rope. And it's very interesting. And there's a guy named David Weck down in San Diego who has taken this notion to an interesting level. And I'm experimenting with it. The list of potential benefits is huge. But I promised myself I was going to work on it really hard during October so I could give an estimation of what I think it is, and do I think it's something. Because in terms of equipment, all you need is a piece of rope. I mean, it's like, yeah, they sell, $50 specialty, rope flow ropes, but you can go to Home Depot, or you probably got something, hanging around the house that you could use, especially to get started. Some of the movements require almost no coordination at all. Others of them are exceptionally difficult, and I think might be really useful for cognitive development. It reminds me of the same sort of bilateral motion that makes Filipino martial arts an excellent tool to combat things like Alzheimer's and cognitive decline of various kinds. It's very similar. As a matter of fact, if somebody had told me this was a developmental exercise for that, I would have believed it. So at any rate, here I am in New York, and I've been doing a lot of signing and a lot of talking to people, and a lot of different subjects came up. But the most important thing that I wanted to talk about today, there's almost always a subject of some kind that I want to talk about, and had to do with turning fear into power. That, and we talked about it just a little bit just on the call already. The question of how do we deal with our emotions, especially powerful emotions? As I've said, I spent 24 years trying to earn a black belt before I earned my first one, because I was dealing with so much fear. And if I could send a message in a bottle back to the younger me, I would tell that younger me to take my fear of the champions who were in the school that were just kicking my butt and take that fear out on the heavy bag. That to do that, I want to talk about 3 different ways of turning fear into power. The first one is one that I've mentioned before, and it's a trick you can use if and only if you actually have aerobic fitness. Do not try this if you don't have sufficient fitness to go into second wind. Second wind is that feeling of like a third lung opening up somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes of a steady state activity. And I would have spent 10 minutes imagining that person kicking my butt until I'm shaking with fear and crying out of my nose when I put it, until the fear is totally present in my body. And then I would start working it on my heavy bag, envisioning hitting them. And I would do it continuously for 15 minutes. I would just go and go and go, and I'd probably be sobbing and laughing and screaming and hitting. But somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes, you cross into through the neuroimmunoendocrine response barrier, the second wind barrier, which is basically like changing gears in a car. And when you do that, your body is deliberately becoming more efficient and effective at fighting or running. I mean, it's saying, oh, okay, this is an ongoing stress. We have to operate at a higher level of efficiency. Do that, and not only does your fear level reduce, but whatever level of discomfort and anxiety you had about getting your butt kicked, you've just turned into skill. You just turned into strength. So it's a direct physical connection. So that's one of the things that we can do. Before I move on, any comments, questions, or requests about that? Because this is important stuff. That thing that we call the spider exercise, if you have aerobic fitness, you can use it and it works almost like magic. So I want to know, is there anybody? Okay, good. There's somebody who has their hand up. Is that you, Stephen?
That is me. Like I said in chat, it's a $6 rope and
Yes.
$9 to tie the knots. Steve, for you, um, if the ceiling in your room isn't working for it, take and tie 2 or 3 figure eights in the
Yes.
middle. They'll keep your rope direction the same, but that'll take up the line slack you need in the middle and give you the weight. So when it goes overhead, it you don't need your 8 or 9 foot ceiling. You can do it at a shorter range.
You're absolutely correct. And actually, it's really great that you brought that. Let me show you. Here's one of the ones that I brought with me. See, there's mine. And I can tie knots in it. Terrific idea. Thank you for bringing that up. But there are moves where you don't have to do it over your head. You can do it side to side. There are propellers and figure eights. Everything is is a figure eight movement or a circular move. So it's really the spiral nature of it. It's very healthy. You could do it. You could literally use this for rehab of joints. And I was looking at this, and there are people in their 80s and 90s talking about how they were rehabbing their body using this. And I was thinking anything that you can do if you're 90 years old that you could also use to push an Olympic athlete, I'm interested in that because that's infinitely scalable. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you very, very much, Steve. Let me see that rope again. Hold that up again. Great. Yeah. So have you been playing with it?
Yeah, enjoyed it. I think you on Facebook you shot out that link to the one where you do the crossover and cross your arms,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's there's a
that
lot
that
of
that
really
that one
fascinating
has
things.
been fun.
You know, the downward one is the stand one, but the upward one, man, those are you're working uppercuts. I was looking at that. And not only that, but because of the rope, I was noticing that in order to get the rope moving right, you have to be centered, you have to be stable, you have to be extending from your navel. Um, you have to watch where your hands are. You have to be moving from your hips rather than just from your wrists at times. Other times you do it from the wrist, but there's a lot of that sort of dowsing for energy in the air thing that I picked up on in Filipino martial arts. So I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to map over. So that's good. Anybody else have their hands up? The two
Yeah,
Steves, yes.
yes, I
Steve,
do.
Steve, one comment on that. Sorry,
Yes.
go ahead, Mo. My bad.
Okay,
Yes, I'm a joker in certain things, and but I'm talk serious about you because here in Atlanta, every Monday, uh, at the local YMCA, we have Black Man Lab,
uh-huh.
which went national. And one day, CJ and I and people on the talk who know me know about CJ and have met him. And there was an elder who was just finishing water aerobics, and she was so exhausted, and she had a little bag, and we had to help her to the elevator, and to get her up there. And CJ, carry her bags. He's such a good son. But I would think that Steve, looking at the local wise, especially with people who have disabilities, and they'll pay for memberships based, like if you're on Medicare.
Okay, unmute yourself. I muted you, Maurice. Unmute yourself.
Unmute myself, you
Yes,
said?
good, good.
Yeah, okay. So certain insurance programs, the silver sneakers programs like with Aetna and stuff, pay for your membership with the Y. And looking at Tai Chi, and it's, when I was younger, 20 years ago, when my ex-wife, mother of my kids, married 20 years, went into water aerobics and I was showing her stuff with Tai Chi, and she was doing that not when just some breaks between when the coach is telling about the water aerobics. I think that Steve, if you put your mind, if you ever did a water aerobics class, that Tai Chi with resistance for the elderly without the ropes, just moving the hands through the water, just like I'm Ishinru, soft style and everything else, that would be something interesting to look at for elders, that they're doing already with the minimum resistance with maximum
Yeah, there are lots of different
benefits.
things that are possible. I've done Tai Chi in the water, and I've
Okay.
actually, led people doing that when we had a swimming pool at Foothill Village, years back. And it works, and it works nicely. I'm looking for something that requires minimum resource that is available to almost everybody. I don't know whether or not this is going to be it, but it's one of the things that I'm kind of searching for, Mo, because I want everything that we're doing here to be a path that a person
Mhm.
could follow to greater health and aliveness. And your suggestion is excellent.
Yeah, I would, especially in my neighborhood, and I'm near the Y.
Right.
That's why I'm into it, and everything right now. It just depends on where you are. Not everyone is in that situation, but I could easily see myself getting into that situation where people feel that they're getting a benefit out of it because um defensive techniques and everything else. It's just where it is right now, especially within. And I'm not trying to be um what is it called, with race and everything else, with opportunities and privilege, that the YMCA, YWCA does have those options in some major cities, and just look into it.
Okay.
And it doesn't
Well,
mean
I
you're a
will.
Christian.
And I will think about that. I need to focus on this right now, but I will.
Yes,
I
sir.
promise that I will think about that, Mo. Thank you.
All right.
Stephen, was there something else you wanted to say, buddy?
Yeah, Steve, the only thing I noticed is it doesn't let you incorporate full body. So where you talked about getting into the upper arm motions for an uppercut, it doesn't let you load up and really
Oh,
put
actually, oh yes, it does.
really put your full
Keep
core
keep
into
looking,
it.
keep looking at
That's
those videos. I'm seeing people jumping, spinning, squatting, doing split squats, running. I mean, I've seen a ton of stuff. It's really that's a really fascinating community, and they're doing some fascinating stuff. I'll try to find some videos that if I keep doing this, trust me, I will share every really great video that I find. But there are people out there with some really good ideas. Okay. There's a really cute little Filipino lady named who calls herself Slush. If you were to look at Slush ropes, she's a doll, and she's really fun to watch spinning that rope. And I enjoy that. All right, so let's see. If there aren't any other questions, then let me move on to the question of the second way to turn boom, 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 spotlight for everyone, to turn emotion or rather fear into power. Okay. So we talked about the spider technique, and also the 5 minute miracle does it. Okay. So you notice when you're doing the 5 minute miracle, that's 5 times a day that you can notice what it is to breathe in an empowered way, where your shoulders are square and you're smiling, and you're breathing, and you notice that. And if you set your watch or your smartphone to go off every 3 hours, it will start going off when you're in an unresourceful state. It'll go off, and you'll notice that you're hunched, you're frowning, you're tense, and you deliberately shift the resourceful breathing, right? For 60 seconds. In 3 hours, your alarm goes off again. And you might notice again, you're hunched, you're in a low energy state, you're frowning, so you shift again. You do that enough times, and you will start noticing when you are shifting into an unresourceful state. You will start noticing it. And if you do that, you might be able to do something along the lines of snap your fingers, clap your hands. And it's like, it's like, okay, the alarm goes off. Okay, like this. Okay. Let me bring myself back to center, shoulders square, head held as if by a string from above. Breathe. And while I'm breathing, I'm smiling. So you're deliberately shifting to the smiling, empowered self several times a day. If you do this long enough, you will start noticing that when you get unhappy, your body, and you start shifting into that unresourceful state, your body will actually tell you to shift back, to straighten your posture, to make that shift. Why? Because the meaning of life is to move away from pain towards joy, from the pain towards pleasure at the simplest level. We want to be happy. If you impress upon yourself that joy, if we say that the meaning of life is to escape suffering, embrace joy, and be of service, suffering is not pain. Pain is inevitable in life. Suffering is holding on to that pain. In other words, you're holding on to yesterday's pain or fear about tomorrow in the moment. Now you're suffering. If I stab myself with a pin, that's just pain. If I learn the lesson, don't stab yourself with a pin, you can let go of your emotions about the pain. So suffering is the emotion that you have about the pain. Joy, in a symmetrical way, is pleasure without some particular shift in the external world. You are separating your ability to enjoy life and the ability to be happy, the ability to feel fulfilled from what is going on around you. And if you read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, you'll know this was essential in the concentration camps, that people who were in those camps who allowed the context to control their emotions died. But the people who found ways to be happy there, to be often by being of service to others, escaped suffering and found their joy. And they came out of the concentration camps, if they survived, actually being better people. So the pain of life is inevitable, but the meaning of that pain and what you can do about it, you have some control over that. So if at 5 times a day, if you have emotional pain and you deliberately shift to resourceful breathing and you smile and you think about something that's pleasant, you think about something that's empowering, you are training your nervous system to treat you better, training your nervous system. So before we go on, because this is just so damned important, any comments or questions about this? We got 3 different, actually, we've already talked about 4 different techniques, but I got another specific one for you, and I want to make sure that you're taken care of. Okay, so there isn't anything there. So let's move on to number 3. Number 3, let's call number 3, it's like we've done body, we've done emotions by asking ourselves specifically to find ways to be joyful during our 5-minute miracle break. But we can also combine our heartbeat meditation with that. Heartbeat meditation is just sitting quietly and getting such a soft focus that we can feel the blood rushing in our veins, that you can take your pulse and feel your pulse and then put your hands down and relax enough that you can feel your heartbeat. Okay. This is a really good exercise, but it's actually more, it's one of the core exercises that I love doing, but I strongly suggest that you try this when we're not on the air, when we're not doing this. I will be giving you an exercise to try here today. I want to give you a qigong exercise every day, every time we meet. But that connecting with the love inside yourself allows you to then say, what do I love enough to fight for? If you're afraid for someone that you love totally, and there is something you can do to reduce the fear, your love will combine with the fear to create energy. But you often have to love to do it for somebody else, or you could do it for that child inside yourself. Either one of those things work. But if you ask yourself, what do you love enough to fight for? Ultimately, what the answer I want you to have is you're willing to fight for yourself, for your heart, for your dreams. Maurice Barnes, Mo, you got something for me, buddy?
Yeah, yes, sir. This week has been very, very hard for me. Because I deal with emotional issues and everything. Let me lower my hand here. Because of my sons, and I'm not going to go through it, but my son CJ has been there with me, and he's seen my struggles. And this week, I found myself crying uncontrollably. Tears are streaming up my eyes, not boo-hooing, and just despondent. And it was a very, very dark place because of my finances and just getting food in the house and not getting the food bank. I never thought I'd be in this situation from working from an export officer to working for the Israeli government and beating up on myself and then realizing that I can't give up on myself. And I was ready to go to the hospital on Thursday just to help me out, but I realized I couldn't do it because there would be no one here to cook for CJ to have food for him, and there was no food in the house. And every day, just cooking basics, vegetables, the proteins and stuff. I had to do what I had to do with that, but I refused to be dis. I didn't. I'm not saying that I refused to be despondent immediately. I was despondent, but I realized that there is a higher power who doesn't want me to give up on life. And where I am at the point.
So let me ask you a question, Mo. What is
Yes,
your
sir.
primary need? Is your primary need to make money?
My primary need is, when you say to make money, it's not as I want to bling out. It's just making
No, no,
basic
so we're not
things.
talking about that. We're not talking about that. And it's interesting that your mind went there. What my
Okay.
question is very simple. Would your problems be solved by money?
Yeah, and a very small amount, because I couldn't get the $39.95 together last week, and I got to wait till next month to do the online substitute teaching gig. Um,
So look, no, no, no. Okay. So and it's very, very important for you to keep this as simple as possible. The answer is yes. Money will
yes,
solve your problems.
yes,
So I have to ask you, have you been memorizing Think and Grow Rich?
yes, I have. But
Excellent.
here's the issue
Yeah.
with it, with Think and Grow Rich, and realizing some of the principles, and realizing, and because of my own mindset of not fully accepting the functionality of the precepts.
Okay.
Um,
So talk to me about what you feel the argument going on inside yourself. Because the first step is desire. You have the desire to make money, right?
yes,
Okay. So the second step is faith. Do
yes,
you believe you can do it?
yes.
Okay. So where are you running into a problem? What is the first precept? Let me change my own background if I can here. What is the first thing that you stumble over?
Healing from my physical issues from when I was in the hospital at the beginning of this year, and still healing from it, and dealing with the stress and anxiety, and stepping out of that and going into a situation where I can put the immediate needs of, well, my needs aside. And I've been concentrating on my sons,
Okay,
CJ and
okay.
Victor.
So once again, you're getting too complicated.
Okay.
What you're saying then is that the problem is you don't believe you can do it because of all these different things. Because of your physical
Mm.
things, because you need to take care of your son. You don't believe you can do it.
I believe I can do it, but right now I'm not at the place where I can believe I can do it,
No,
because
no,
I'm
no,
not
no, wait a
strong.
minute, wait a minute. So you don't believe you can do it would seem to be the answer. Because what you said is that you're not at a place where you can believe you can do it, right? That means you don't believe you can do it.
Yes.
That means that at some point in the future, you might be able to believe you can do it. But right now, you don't. So it's critical for you to have clarity on this, Mo. Your life is depending on it. To say, the problem is I have the desire to do it, but I don't have the faith that I can. I've lost my faith that I can do it. There's nothing wrong with saying that. That's the truth, man. Because if you say, I've lost the faith to do it, then you know exactly what you have to do. You have to find a way to believe. By not looking at that directly, you're denying yourself the ability to focus where that focus is actually going to do good. Right now, you have the desire to make money, but you don't believe you can do it because you have all these issues that are happening. Is that accurate?
That is absolutely accurate.
Okay, good, great. So now you know what you have to do, because that third step, auto suggestion, you have got to bust your ass to find some way inside yourself to believe you can do this. And that might come from, social services, studying other people who've been in your situation. But in order for you to get out of this situation, you have got to find a way to leverage yourself to feeling like There is a way you can do this if you put your energy behind it. If you don't believe that there's any way to do this, if you put your energy behind it, you will not put your energy behind it, because that would be a waste of precious energy that you don't have. That you've got to find that. So that's your step. That's the thing you have to do, is to find something by, and that specialized knowledge step, step 4. You might need to skip ahead to that just a little bit. But if you don't believe that it's possible, you won't start researching. If you don't believe it's possible, you'll get lost in fantasy. It'd be nice if fantasy. You have to find the part of you that will die before it quits. You have to find the part of you that believes that there's a way out of this. You have solved problems before. You've operated at a high level before. Yes, you're having a problem right now, but by God, you're gonna succeed or die. You're gonna do this.
Yes.
Period. When you find that part of you, then the research on how other people have done it starts making sense. You're looking for ideas. What could I do? Could I do this? Could I do this? Could I do this? Could I do this? Where can I do this? But until you believe, and right now, because of multiple factors, your belief in yourself has been damaged. This happens. It happens to me. It happens to everyone. We all go through periods where it feels like nothing we do is going to do it. You are among people who accept that, who do not ask you to pretend to be strong, because we know that when it comes right down to it, you are strong. We don't have to pretend. We can accept the fact that you're hurting. You feel broken. You feel like, there's no hope. So if you know that this is the job, that this is the first thing you have to do, is to get aligned within yourself, you don't have to know how to do it. All you need is to know that this is what there is to be done. And you're going to find some way to do it. And if you read 1,000 articles on people who did not believe and managed to believe in themselves enough to achieve in different areas of life, you will come up with the ideas that you need. But first, it's that finding the bedrock where you absolutely will do all in your power or die to do it. You burn your fucking bridges. You're going to do this or die in the attempt. There is nothing, you ground that on the things that are so important to you that there is no doubt. When there is doubt, there must be no doubt. When you find that doubt, you have found what it is you need to dig into to succeed. So you take a look at these 13 steps. If you just go along them one at a time, and I want everybody to notice how difficult it was for Mo to admit that he did not have that faith. It's like, I have the faith, he says to himself, and what happens then? It's, if you feel like I have faith, but I'm not acting, then you feel like you're weak. If you have the faith, if you know that it's possible, why aren't you doing it? That's tearing yourself apart. No, there's a practical thing here. You've lost your faith in yourself. This is a human thing, Mo. Every person here has experienced what you're talking about. That's right, brother. Nobody's looking down on you. This is the work. This is the work. We believe, if you can say, I don't have faith yet. I don't have faith now. I don't have faith, but I will learn to. What you have to do is you have to ground it on the part of you that is a survival machine. And that's where the breathing comes in. Because all you have to do is try to hold your breath until you pass out. And you'll find out how much you want to live. You can't do it. It cannot be done. The physical mechanism of the human animal will never quit on itself. It's the ego that will make you quit. What you have to do is find things that are more important than your self-concept. You're willing to throw away what you think you know about yourself and develop the faith that there is a way to do this. You bring that to this group. I need to find faith. You bring the actual issue to this group so we can work on it. Okay, buddy?
Yes.
And in chat, I want you people to reach out to Mo. I want you to talk about this issue. How do you gain faith when you've lost it? And if you will talk about times when you have lost your faith and what you did to get it back, that conversation will nurture his soul. So I am trusting you guys. It's like I will move heaven and earth to be with you here every week. I expect you to do your job. And right now I'm asking you to reach out to Mo and you help him understand what you used to develop faith so that he can find that faith within himself so he can take care of himself and his son and get his feet on dry land. Does that sound reasonable to you, Mo?
Yes, I refuse to be desolate and
You
give up
refuse to
on the
let your
gift of
sense of
life that
desolation
God has given.
stop you. You refuse to, that feeling is there, and you refuse to let it stop you. That the feelings do not have to control your behavior. That you can feel lost and scared and still fight. It's time to fight. Ishinru. When was the last time you did your Ishinru movement? That movement has warrior encoded in it. That movement is about how to move when people are trying to hurt you and your family. How do you breathe? How do you stand? How do you hold your posture when it's time to go? You know this stuff, Mo.
Yes.
I will not let you pretend that you don't. Do you understand me?
Steve, you're so right, because at the Y down the street, they had a open instructor for karate, and I was talking to my sensei when I was at Morehouse and stuff. He said, "It's perfect for you." I said, I can't do it physically right now. He's like, no, he's like, "Maurice, I'm not going to accept this or anything else. As much as I've taught you and as much as you've done, you can do this."
Yes, you
And
can. Because in the first 6 weeks, you could be laying down basics and you could be honest with them. I'm going to be learning with you. I know this. What is your rank, by the way, sir?
I'm first dan.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
received my black belt.
Fantastic. That means that you have the ability to train somebody up to brown belt.
Yes.
Okay? So you teach them. You know, you don't have to, get that, but you could have. You could teach them, and at the same time, you're working with yourself. Okay? What you have to do is find the place inside yourself that will fight to the death. And we all have that because we all know that we're going to die. And we're all seeking a sense of meaning. What will I die for? You die, you live for your son. You live for that little boy inside yourself. Life has hurt you, but you have found a circle of people here. If you show up here, we're not going to let you quit on yourself. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
I don't want a damn thing from you except for you to excel, for you to succeed, for you to be the man that in your heart you know you are. You are a karateka. That is an honor. You are a father. You're a man. You're a warrior. That is an honorable thing. Warriors get knocked down, they bleed and they break, but they keep crawling forward until they can stand. And they stand until they can walk, and they walk until they can run. Do we understand each other?
Yes, we do. And it's for me, it reminded me of everything I'm going through. Like many people, we've all gone through trauma in their lives. And most recently, it's been coming up trauma. I've been coming up with my father, who beat me one time when I was in junior high school with an extension cord. And my family had to keep me out of school for 3 days because my father would have been charged.
Yes.
And my friends came and visited me. And because I was the eldest, I had shielded my other siblings from this. And now
How
they
old
don't
are you, Mo?
understand. Say again?
How old are you, Mo?
I'm 57 and still
You're
dealing with the
57
trauma from
years old.
13.
Okay. You're 57 years old. You are your father now.
Yes.
You are your father now. What kind of father are you going to be?
Loving and understanding, but yet inspiring, as like Khalil Gibran.
That's great. But I'm talking about the male energy in there. Are you ready to kick ass, even if it's your own ego?
Oh, hell yeah. I've done that already. And I've
Yes.
gotten my
But
ass kicked.
what you do is you beat yourself down. Are you willing to be a drill instructor for yourself? But to have the faith that you can do it, when you find that spark of faith, then you have to do your research. How can you do it? How can I do this? Okay. Now, one of the things that I am doing, to tell you honestly, is that I'm working on a way to allow people to affiliate with the magic book.
Mm.
And, the people can get $10 for everyone they can help move. So if I can set that up properly, I want you to have a dozen different ideas about how to make money, but I want to set it up so that that is something that I can offer you, that I can offer people like you, because there is nothing works like money in the arenas in which money works. You tell the truth that you lack faith, that you've lost your faith. Now we can help you do that. And now I can coach you because you're telling the truth. The truth will set you free, my brother.
Hmm.
The truth is, you have the strength that you need. You've just been convinced that you don't. You believe you are your pain, that you are the voices in your head, and you are not. You're the one listening to the voices. You're the one experiencing the pain. What you need to do is to combine that with all the love in your heart.
I hear you, and I appreciate everything you're saying, and I'm taking all of this in, and I'm not taking up any more time right now on this episode or
Okay.
this feature
But
there.
you do
And
understand, yeah, I'm going to move on, but you do understand that this is the episode. That
yes,
what I
sir.
do is I have an agenda, but what I wait for, what I pray for, is that somebody will say something like you just said, because now it's not rote. Now it's not something I wrote down. This is live in the moment. I get to actually coach you in the moment. This is 10 times more powerful than anything I could read off a page. This is real shit right here.
I'll hear you.
So you go over there into the chat, and I trust the tribe to talk to you and nurture you. This man needs some love. You give him love, people.
And I see that I'm getting chat messages
All
and
right,
everything
you
else,
go
and
over there and
coming
deal
up
with that.
on
Okay.
yeah, we're coming up on homecoming for Morehouse and Spelman, and because of my past relationship, it's like, I don't want to go, I can't go, and it's like, why do I need to go, especially since Kamala hijacked it, and I'm going to vote for her.
Mo,
Yes,
go talk to them. It's time for me to
yes,
move on.
sir.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you, Sipa.
You betcha. That's great. That's great. So, um, geez, let's kind of move on to find out, we're kind of in that space of who's got something they want to talk about. Raise hands. I'm not see the view here. Let me get the view to gallery. Okay. So who could raise their hand? Who got anything that they want to talk about? Denise Berger seems like she might have something that she would like to talk about.
Sure.
Please.
I realized that I think you meant for us to do it in DM. I just wanted to say out loud that I hear you, Mo, and I feel you, and I'm going to continue saying what I had started saying in the group privately.
Yes, you do that. If you've got private things to say, DM him privately. What I
Yeah,
want to
that's
know
what-
from you is, how are you doing? How can we support you?
I'm doing okay. I had a difficult conversation. This could actually be a really good thing to get from the group. Thank you for asking.
You're very
I was a
welcome.
classroom teacher for years, and I still have like a mentor-mentee relationship with around 5 of my former students. And one of them in particular um, has had a very difficult struggle with alcohol. Took him to his first AA meeting as a kid, went with him, blah, 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 got him therapy, did all the different things. Cut an extraordinarily long, exhausting story short, he finally got into a residential program in LA, which is where I met him. I'm not in LA now. And I was super happy for him. A group of former teachers got together and made sure he had money to like cover his bill. Like it just a lot.
Or you're a real teacher.
I
Now
tried
that
to be. I tried to be.
real teachers are saints and
I
warriors
tried to be.
and
I
just
tried to
total love. So if I can serve you, it would make my day.
be. Well,
Talk to me.
here's what happened next.
Yes.
So one of his biggest struggles, apart from the alcoholism, is he is locked into a series of codependent, very destructive relationships with family members. And I kept trying to encourage him, which was easy to say, you know, you need to get out, you need to get out, you need to get out, but he's locked in. Okay. So he got into this residential program, and I said, you know, try to go as far as you can, you know, as far as they can take you, like Inland Empire, get as far as from LA as possible. And he said, I'm good for 30 days. I said, no, go for 90 days. So we talked about all of that. All that was fine. Then he called me. He was like, all right, I got in. Everything is lined up. Then I'm not going to be able to use my phone for 30 days. So I'll call you at the 30-day mark. I said, no problem. So he called briefly. I was like, great. And then he just stayed on my mind for the last 3 days. And I was like, what's going on? So I called him. He answered. I said, where are you? I'm back at home. I said, how are you? He said, I'm falling apart. And I said, I will continue to pray for you. And I hung up. And I don't, I'm trying to
You feel like
figure out, like he's 33. This has been going on since he was 13. And I just
look, sweetheart, Denise, listen to me. You feel like a failure. You feel like you let him down because you love. Okay. What you have to do, don't get into the water with drowning swimmers unless you are a professional lifeguard.
I am not.
That's right. You're not. You get your own feet on solid ground and throw them a life preserver or say, the shore is this way and watch out for sharks. It is easy to become a rescuer because it is easier to rescue other people than it is to help yourself. It is easier to tell someone to go out and run 5 miles by far than to go out and run it yourself. So oftentimes we will commit to helping other people as a way of avoiding the work we need to do for ourselves. If you took the energy that you invested in there, and it's God's work, nothing but respect and nothing but love for you in trying to do it. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. That's the work, to be of service.
Come on, son. Sit on this chair.
What is it? If there was something you were neglecting in your own life, when you look at your body, look at your emotions, you look at your intellect. I'm going to mute people again because I'm hearing some voices back there. Mute all. And now I want you to unmute yourself, Denise. Would you please unmute yourself? What work do you need to do on yourself that might, that if you did it, you'd move to the next level of your life? There's always work to be done.
Oh my God, there's a list.
That's right. That's right.
There's a
And
list.
I could easily talk. So tell me, if it were true that you were neglecting your own journey and by investing a little too much energy in someone who hasn't gotten the clarity that they need, what is it? Because you could use, and we all could use, a little extra clarity on where our journey is and what is it we need to do so that we could throw life preservers rather than getting down in the water and drowning. What do you need to work on? Just what would you think? It doesn't have to be the right answer, but what would your answer be?
The thing that I found the most difficult, that I think would bring me the most payback, would be working again deliberately on being embodied, being fully embodied. To
What does
not
that mean?
feel.
What does that mean? Tell me what being fully embodied means.
So,
by the way, I love those pictures behind you.
yes, these are some
right
of
there.
our foremothers, especially in this moment, because these are all Black suffragettes, among other
There
things
you
that
go.
they did. But
so you tell me, let me shift that question slightly. Who would you be if you were fully embodied? Describe that magnificent woman to me.
Um, I believe, because this is make believe now. I believe that I believe that I'd be physically healthier. I believe that I would have more money. Um, and therefore I would be doing more of the things that I want to do than the things that I have to do.
There you go.
I
So
believe, yeah,
go ahead.
yeah.
So your physical body would be different.
Yes, I believe that's true. Yes.
Okay. So you could say, for instance, by my birthday next year, I'm going to run a 10K.
I could say something like that. Yes.
I mean, you could say, I mean, it's, I'm not saying that this is what you're going to commit to.
That's
In terms of
correct.
your emotions, what would
Yes.
be different?
Yes.
Would your relationship be different? Or would you have one?
Yes, it would be different.
Okay. And how would it be different? Abundant passion, connection, just that sense of partnership in on the life journey. Fantastic. So the second thing is I'm going to have by my birth. When is your birthday next year?
August 3rd.
By August 3rd next year, I will have transformed my relationship or found a new one. Okay. Or I will walk by myself for a while, because sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to walk from this village to another village
That's
by
it.
yourself to
That's
get
right.
there to where,
Mhm.
the love of your life. You have to be the love of your life. Then you create the space for money. And in terms of money, well, we're all about money here. We love money here. And so it's like, so abundance, people say, I want enough money to get by, are being children.
Yeah,
Be-
I'm not, no,
because
absolutely
they
not.
are not factoring in the fact that emergencies always happen.
But it's even more than the emergency, Steve, is that
Ah,
I have really, it took me a while. Very recently, I figured out that one of the consequences of growing up in my household was losing the ability to dream. And when you dream, you start thinking in ways that are small and tight. You
that's
don't
right.
think in ways that are
That's
big and
because
expansive.
what happens is you go into survival.
Absolutely.
And
And
this is
so,
something that is common among the neurodivergent, the oppressed, the abused.
yep,
You lose your ability to dream. You're cut off
yep,
from that child part of
yep.
you that says, earth below, heaven above, no
That's it.
one in the world like me.
That's it. And so
Remember
if someone
when
just
you,
wants money enough to survive, they have lost the ability to dream, because
that's
this
right.
is a very big world. And so I had to recognize that about myself,
There you go.
and have made a conscious shift recently to say I want to actually do these three things in the world before I die, and they take money. And there are things that I'm talking about transforming education in the Caribbean. I'm talking about bringing way of thinking, learning, and being to the African diaspora. I'm not talking
There
about
you
small
go.
things. I'm
So
talking
look,
about
look,
big things, and those things take money,
they,
lots of money.
yes, they do.
So,
And I look at money first, a measure of how much your community values your service, combined with how much self-respect you have to demand what you're goddamn well worth. Okay? That's where it begins. But it's possible to move to a place where the more service you give, the more money you get. So you're only looking at money as a, a, a way of measuring the amount of service you're doing. So it moves from escaping misery to embracing joy to being of service. So
absolutely.
you see that thing behind me, that 13 principles of success consciousness. Where are you stuck on that? Do you have the desire? Have
Yes,
you,
I
have
have
you
the
owned
desire.
that and how much money do you want? Do you even, can you quantify what you
I
want?
can now. Yes.
Let's hear it.
So I have what I think will be a method, which
No, no.
is
How much
developed.
money do you want to make?
It needs to be at least 30 to 40 million dollars.
Okay, you need to make 30 to 40 million dollars.
Mhm.
Good number. So what I would
US.
like you to do is get yourself a copy of Think and Grow Rich, which is available free on the internet or at
Okay.
99 cents. You can get a Kindle copy. Get yourself a copy of The Magic Formula, my book. You get that at realheroesjourney.com. Somebody type that in, please. If you can't afford it, you reach out and we will get you a free copy. You understand me?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. No games about this. I'm working to build a tribe. So when somebody like Mo says they need help, we help them. We've got the resources to stand on the dock and throw a life preserver, because that's how you build tribe. What you have seen is that one of your tribes, defined by the African diasporic nature of it, has been severely wounded to the point where
Right.
it's difficult for them to even dream. And that means that if you can show them the way, you are a suffragette.
Mhm.
You are right in alignment with the sisters and the mothers and the grandmothers who you adore and you wish to walk in their footsteps.
Absolutely.
There you go. So get yourself a copy of that book, Magic Formula, and then
Okay.
the M in Magic Formula is map or model. So you're going to need to find a map that pertains specifically to what you're trying to do. Think, Grow Rich, will handle. There is no book that is better about how to make money than what you're seeing right up there. The 13 Principles of Success Consciousness. I can find how people use those steps in anybody you can point to who's successful. So you start with the desire and you go from there to the faith that you can and should have it. And you use auto suggestion to align your internal state with the actions you're going to need to take. And then you study, you do research. How am I going to do this? And you break it down by studying other people who started where you started and got what you're getting, what you want to get. And then you start taking those steps. You start taking, and as you take those steps, the world will react to you and you'll start gaining information, and you will continually use that good mind and that good heart that you have to figure out, okay, I got to zigzag here. I got to go here. I got to go here. You play chess with life. You are playing chess with life, and your opponent is time. And if you wait too long, it will take your pawns. Okay? You do that, and you support people here, or support that you find a circle of people that you can tell your dreams to. If we can serve in that way, fantastic. Otherwise, you find somebody that you can share your dreams with, and you can talk every week about what it is you're trying to accomplish. Someone who will support you, who will believe in you. Like I said, we're here, but we're not the only people you can find for that. I would not lie and try to say that to you. What's important is that you help change the world, because the little girl that you used to be would love that. And the old woman you're going to be on your deathbed would feel that that was a life well lived.
And that is exactly what I want. Like, I want, whenever it's done, I don't, I am a practicing Christian, to be clear, but I would be okay if when I died, there was nothing. I don't care about that. What I really care about is making this count.
Right. My attitude is all I can keep is what I give away. I have no idea what happens when I die. I'm perfectly happy with nothing. I wink out. Okay, that's fine. And if there's something next, I'm okay with that too.
Same.
I've done the best job I can. So
that's it. That's it. That's it right there. That's it. Like,
yeah,
I left it all on the floor. It's done. It's fine.
Yeah, that's right. You leave it all. You leave it all on the field. You leave nothing in the locker room.
That's what I want.
It's game day, baby. This is game day. You bring it 100%, and you find teammates and people you can talk to who are not going to laugh at you because you've got the dream of $30-40 million. When you said that, I didn't blink. 30-40 million. Okay. So figure out how to get half that way, and then half that way, and then half that way, until you get to something that's only twice the most you've ever earned. And then it is perfectly reasonable. You aim at improving 1% per week minimum. That's the game here. Okay. And breathing 5 times per day, stopping 5 times per day to breathe, because you're going to be going through layers of stress. Okay. And so the first thing you do is learn how to deal with that stress physiologically, how to shift yourself into a positive state so that you can have that faith, so that you dare to say, I will lead my tribe. Okay. And there will be mockery, and you will lose friends, and people will talk about you. It's okay. On some level, they really want you to succeed. On some level, they're just testing you. You can't really, I can't even tell you the number of friends I've lost because I refuse to have a negative attitude. I will not. No, this is my life. I love my life, but I deliberately love my life. I chose to love my life every single day. I do things to fall in love with my life and fall in love with my wife and fall in love with my son and my daughter and say, this is my life and I will live it on my terms to the limit of my ability. And I need tribe, people I can be this guy with, because I won't be that guy. I won't be what the world wants me to be. I'll be who I am. And that's what I want for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet, my sister. That's wonderful. You're so
Hey,
cute.
Stephen, CJ is here. He needs some of your, he wanted to.
Okay, let me remove spotlight and let's CJ.
Hello.
Hello. Talk to me, buddy.
Well, I've been going through a lot recently, and I'm trying to help my dad through things.
Son, don't talk about your dad, okay?
Well, I'm trying
Let's
to
talk
help.
to you,
I'm
son.
trying to help myself get through a lot of things. I'm cleaning in the house. I'm taking out the trash, doing whatever I got to do, and at the same time, I'm sad for everything I've been through, and I've been through a lot, and I've been stressed out a lot. I'm doing good with my content and all that, but I feel like that even then so, I still feel empty after all these years of living on this earth. Like I'm starting to slowly lose interest as soon as I get older. Like when I get older, I'm losing interest every day.
Yeah,
And
that's because you're losing your faith that you can create the dreams that you want. So why care? That's all that's happening. You know, if you believed you could have it and it was going to light you up, man, you'd be working day and night. But if you don't see a way to get it, our energy turns inward and it can poison our dreams. So what I want from you is make sure that your dad has a copy of my book, Magic Formula.
he
I want you,
does.
good. Read it. But before you do that, and starting right now, I want you to do the breathing. That's the buy-in, is to shift physiologically so you're dealing with stress and you can create a little open space inside yourself where you can believe. See, the fear that you have, you're dealing with a lot of fear. That is natural. I have fear. Everybody on this call has fear. It's all about how do we deal with it. There ain't nobody out there without fear unless there's something wrong with their brains. But one of the things it does is it files the sharp edges off of life. Life starts feeling dull and you start feeling numb and you stop feeling your pain. It's better not to feel anything if the alternative is feeling pain and hopelessness. Okay. So when your dad comes on here, you know, and if your dad doesn't come on here on, you know, when we're doing this meeting, you come on, you're welcome to come on. You come on. Let's deal with you. That's right. Let's see you smile. You belong here. You belong at least once a week. You should have contact with people who see your heart, who believe that you can have your dreams, who will dream with you at least once a week. Don't you deserve that? That's
Yeah.
right. You deserve it. I want that for you. You are welcome here. So put your hand on your stomach and I want you to breathe with me for 60 seconds. So when you inhale, your gut goes out. Okay. You're like you're filling up a balloon. You exhale, your gut shrinks. You're driving the air out. That is proper breathing to deal with stress properly. Under stress, we start breathing up in our chest. Okay. And that's emergency breathing. That feels like there's a lion that's gonna jump out at you. So breathe with me. 1, 2. Let's just do 5 breaths. 3. And smile while you're doing it. Big smile. 4. Smile. And 5. All right, CJ, my brother. It's you and your dad against the world, buddy. You hear me? He needs you, and you need him. He tries to be strong for you. It's time for you to also be strong for him. You help each other. You support each other. You be a team together. You be a team together. I did not have my father in the home. I would have given anything to have had my father there, working for me, fighting for me, showing me his tears and his sweat. There's a man inside you that can go out there and kick ass in the world. There is a little boy, a younger boy inside you who needs to see you finding your strength. It is totally natural and normal for you to feel fear, for you to withdraw from the world. That is human. Nobody here is going to mock you for that. What we want from you is for you to take one step every day to get closer to your dreams. To say, I'm just going to improve by 1% a week. Just 1% a week. That means you just find one tiny little thing to shift every day. One tiny little way to be better physically, to be more centered emotionally, to find some way to get clarity on how you're going to make money. I want you to make a lot of money, not a little money, a lot of money. Okay? I want you to love yourself and have faith in yourself. And I want you to be physically powerful. These are your tasks. Can you imagine yourself being physically powerful, emotionally just radiating love and making money hand over fist? Can you even imagine that?
No.
Okay. Can you imagine yourself halfway to that? Making decent money, reasonably healthy, and fitter than you are right now. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. That's a good enough start. All you have to do is progress towards that 1% per week. The voices in your head that, when I talked to your dad and he did not have real faith that he can get the money he needs, you don't have real faith that you can shift yourself in those ways. That's natural. So the first thing you have to do is to understand that it is possible to develop faith. It is possible to have more faith. You know that has there ever been a time in your life that you felt confident? Ever? Square your shoulders the way you did when you were feeling confident. You show me how you were when you felt confident. What was it? Yeah. What was the expression on your face when you felt confident?
Happy.
Yeah. You felt, yeah, you're the man. You're the man. You felt that. You've got that within you. So 5 times a day when you're breathing, I want you to shift into this state. Just remember what it felt like to be confident. Remember when you did something you didn't think you could do. Remember when somebody said you can't do that and you did it and you made a fool of them. You remember what that smile. Look at that smile. Look at that smile. Look at this guy. That guy right there. That's the guy. I just want you to step into that guy 1% more. I want you to have that smile, that body language, that sense of yourself, just 1% more in the next 7 days. 1% more. 5 times a day, you set your phone or your smartwatch, you look at the clock, and at the top of every hour, at least 5 times a day, shift into that guy. Now, why don't you give that guy a name? What would you call that guy? Because he's a bad mother. What do you call him?
It's based on my character that I'm drawing. I would have
Fine.
named him.
Good.
His name is Joe Dark Fox. I would have named him like that.
Joe Dark Fox.
Yeah.
Did you say Joe Dark?
Joe Dark Fox.
Joe Dark Fox. So 5 times a day for 60 seconds, I want you to cosplay as Joe Dark Fox.
And he's at New York Comic Con right now, son.
That's right. I'm at Comic-Con. Comic-Con is filled with people who imagine a better self and step into it.
Like Dragon Con. We go to Dragon Con one day.
That's right. So I want you to remind your dad 5 times a day. You've been doing your breathing. You've been shifting. You're going to be the best you can be, because if you're the best you can be, I'll be the best I can be. You demand that your father be his best and let him demand that you be your best. Just 5 times a day for 60 seconds. Can you do that? Okay, good. Now, he's going to be reading Think and Grow Rich, and I want you to be his primary mastermind. You're the one he's going to talk to about this is how we're going to do it, son. This is how we're going to get out of it. And it's
No,
going to be
no,
hard,
Okay.
but he needs you and you need him. And thank God you've got each other. And you've also got me. And you've got this group. And I move heaven and earth to be here every week for you guys. So far, you know, we've been doing this for almost 2 years. And I will continue to do this as long as people like you are willing to stand up. Be Joe Dark Fox. 5 times a day. I want you to be that bad mother. Okay?
Mhm.
I want
Okay.
you to own that, because you would not be able to create him unless there was a part of you that understood what it was to be him.
Mm,
All right?
you are Joe Dark Fox. Yes, son.
Mhm.
So I want you to, every day, maybe you start by doing 1 push-up. That's right. Let your father start. Does your father teach you karate?
He's trying. What? What's up?
That's right.
Oh, he did a counter strike.
Yes, that's right. And you find the place inside you that will fight to the death rather than let anybody hurt you, rather than let anybody shame you. You are in the process now of stepping across the line from being a boy to a man.
Oh, yes. That's
Okay?
the big thing you're talking about, right, son?
That's right.
Being
Your father is now the grandfather of the little boy inside you. You are that boy's father now. You have to step up. And if you do that, if you will commit to learning the things you have to learn, there's a ton of stuff to learn, but we're all just on that road. We're all on that road of becoming better men, better women, because in order for the children of the world to be safe, the men and women have to be strong.
Mm.
Okay? You willing to be strong?
Yes.
That's right. Say, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
yes.
am your teacher now.
Yes, sensei.
Yes, that's it. On an energetic level, you are now in my school.
Mm-mm.
And there is no, so when my teacher told me, there is no word for failure in my school. We will find a way or make one.
Mm.
Period. You understand me?
Yes, sensei.
All right. I love it. I love it. This is great. Thank you, CJ. I really appreciate you opening yourself like that. And trust me, the negative emotions are going to come back, but you keep coming back here every week and we will start cleaning that up 1 week at a time. You only have to get better 1% per week. You can do that. You can do that in your sleep. 1%, that's nothing. But it adds up. It adds up just 1%. So every week you come back and you tell me what you did to get better by 1%. Just 1%. That's all I'm going to ask of you. You can do that, can't you?
Yes.
Guess
Yes.
what?
Yes, sensei.
There you go. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mo. This is
All
great.
right, son.
This
Good.
is a
Did a
beautiful
great job.
day.
Great job, buddy.
Yeah, that was a fabulous job. That's exactly what I'm looking
Close
for.
my door, buddy.
Megan,
Yes, get the
Maggie,
charger. Thank you,
Maggie.
Steve and family. It means a lot that you that CJ heard that, because it's one thing for dad to struggle and do everything. And I really kind of broke down yesterday because we were trying to get groceries and stuff. And CJ was doing his chores and he picked up pennies and coins around the house and said, "Here, Dad, bring this in. Can we get a pizza tonight?" And every Friday or every other Friday, I try to get a pizza and I couldn't do it this week. And I felt so bad. But I thank you guys for talking to him.
Well, you send me a PM on Facebook. I'm buying your pizza tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You just send me your PayPal or whatever it is we're gonna do. We're buying you
I'll do
pizza
that.
tonight.
Yeah, groceries and pizza. Yeah.
Because you gifted us with your son's heart.
Thank
See,
you.
you
CJ's
bet.
been really going through it. When you told him that he can accomplish, you mean, because he was in a special ed class because he's high functioning autistic, and his own brother was everything about Victor, his twin. I've told everyone in the fam about it online. don't need to go into it, but here's CJ has got his diploma and just wants to work and is getting ready to trying to get into college at Georgia State. It's
So
wonderful
listen,
for them to hear that.
you have your work cut out for you.
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. So I've got to move on right now. But Mo,
Yes, I
reach out to
understand.
me on Facebook. I was
Will
not
do.
bluffing. You send me your PayPal address, and I will buy your pizza tonight. You tell me how much you need for your pizza, and I'll pay for it.
Thank you, sir.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
sir.
All right. So Maggie had raised her hand. Hello, Maggie. Please come back. Maggie, come back. Maggie, come back.
Hi. Well, that was so wonderful. I'm so glad that CJ could come on and talk. That was amazing.
Wasn't that great? I mean, see, this is what I tell them to move their schedule around. I couldn't do it yesterday because there was a major panel, Star Wars panel that they've been planning for months, and I had to be there for that. But I told them, say, I will do a signing, but then you get a car to send me back to my hotel so I can do this. Okay, this is, you guys are my family. You guys are the ones that I can really be myself around. I mean, I can be myself with my wife, with my son, with my best friend. But for a lot of the world, I can't be this guy. People don't believe that I'm actually this guy. They believe that I'm faking it. You guys have seen me long enough to know I'm an asshole, but I'm this kind of asshole. This is who I am. Thank you. And Maggie, that we've loved each other for a long time, sweetheart.
40,
Day, and what can I do?
40 years or more.
That's right.
Many years, more than
Many
half.
years.
Like,
What is it, 40 years?
yeah.
Yeah. So how are you? How is Maggie?
I'm so great. I have 110% today. Now, I had a goal early in the year that I would so I made it a goal that I could not reach on my own. The goal was to be in the studio tour, to open my studio here in the tour for Tacoma Art Month, which was last weekend. The tour was last weekend. And so early in the year, I set that as a goal, like sometime around February or March, that I would take part in the tour. And they, of course, they have to choose you. I mean, you have to apply. But they did. I applied. They liked what I said and showed them, and they said, yes, we'll put you on the tour. And it was last weekend, and I had about over 2 days, it was 6 hours each day. I had about 30 some odd people come through. Some of them stayed for 40 minutes and did a little project, and some of them turned around and saw that this wasn't for them and walked out again, but I don't count them. So it was just, it was the reaching of a goal that I've had for a long time, really. And then this year I said, I'm going to do it.
Okay, I need to ask you a question.
Yo.
You've had this goal for a long time, and now you're making it happen.
I made it.
What's the difference? What is the difference? What helped you make the change that brought this success into your life? If you can quantify that, please share it. What changed about you?
Well, I put some skin in the game a year ago, and I joined a group. Basically, it was a basic design course that the kind of course I've taught several times, but it was from a different angle. It was by someone whom I really respected, whose work I knew and I respected. And the idea of just getting to know this artist was incredible. And it was very specific. It was attached to a working artist group. So basically, I wanted to be in a working artist group. I wanted to be with a group of other artists with whom I could share my work, what I was doing, what my goals were in my work, and that we could support each other. And that was part of this class. So I started paying for the class. And at the end of the year, she told us, well, okay, you now get to keep working on this platform. You can use my platform. You've got access to all the work, and you have your working artist group forever and ever and ever. So there's 4 of us who meet once a month, and we're all working in the same medium, and can actually give each other advice, look at each other's work and say, I think it's too dark, you need more blue, whatever it is.
Okay, so allow me to extract
Like a writer's group.
one perspective on what made the difference. If the magic formula, you found a mentor.
I did. Her name is Martha.
Okay.
She's one of my group.
Yes.
And I honestly,
And in the hero's journey, it's allies and powers. You found a group
I found a group.
allies to support you. And in the 13 success principles, look at this mastermind.
Oh, the mastermind.
There you
I
go.
didn't think of that.
Yeah. So, what are you seeing? I'm pleading with you guys. Do you see that the path has been walked by
I made it to
others? You
mastermind.
don't need to make this shit up yourself. You need to find people who've already walked the path and see what they say. And inevitably, one of the steps will be networking, mastermind. Find people that you can talk to every week who are traveling the same path, some of whom will be ahead of you on the territory and can say, this is how I've experienced it. See, Tananarive and I can be as honest as we can possibly be about the journey we're on. But what we cannot do is customize our path to yours, no matter how hard we try. You've got to find your own patterns. So you could use either the hero's journey or Think and Grow Rich or some other pattern that you find, but make sure that one of those things that you have just found, that one of the things that gets you moving is your connection to other people. You've just learned one of the buttons that turns Megan on.
Yeah.
You need tribe. You need to feel that
yeah.
who see you and love you and protect you and can nurture you and will let you nurture them. You thrive when you find that. Once you find, like one of the things I found out that I thrive, that I am lit up anytime I think about my children. Anytime I think about Nikki, anytime I think about Jason, it's like, yeah. It's like, yay, I love them. I'll do anything for. When you learn what your buttons are, stack it up. You don't even bother to do something and say, okay, how does this benefit my tribe? How does this benefit Nikki? How does this benefit you? When you find the things that turn you on and make you strong and give you courage, deliberately stack that up. The next time you have something to do, remember what you just learned. Do it again. Find that group or another group. You're learning how to control your own apparatus. How are you wired up? You're wired up to perform at a higher level for family than you are doing it by yourself. Makes sense. That's why we do this meeting every week, because I know that there are certain things that work better if you're doing it in a group. If you can talk to other people about who you are and what you need. I've got multiple tribes. I've got tribes defined by the diasporic. I love my people. I love science fiction people. I love martial artists. And I love people who are working to make themselves better. If you're any one of those circles, then there are some others too. I'll do anything in my power for you because I need that connection. I'm nurtured by this connection. This doesn't drain me of energy. I've got more energy when I finish this because at some point during this call, I will remember that I'm not a battery. I'm not a bucket. I'm a hose. I'm connected. I connect to the current of the universe. I connect to the wellspring from which all of our life flows. Okay. I connect to God, to the divine. I connect to the center of the earth, however you want to put it. I start this by using my own energy, but I end it connected to everything. It's like you start working on a painting and you're forcing yourself to do it. And at some point you get into flow and the painting calls you and you just fall into it. Or the story. You found something important, Meg. Write it in your journal. Never forget it. For you to perform at your best, you need tribe. I understand it. Do you? Get it, sweetheart?
I do. It's hard. It's a hard
Yes, it's hard. It's hard.
to stay
But
but
life is hard. And sweetheart,
Yes.
if you don't do it, who's gonna do it for you? That little girl inside you, little Maggie. You need to protect little Maggie.
Yeah,
She's all your life and hope and energy, and she's also cute as a button.
she is.
She
But she
is.
have tantrums.
Yeah, she has attention because she wants to people to see that she's special.
Hmm,
So the first person who can think she's special is her mommy, and you're her mommy now. You
okay.
see that she's special, okay? Because
Yeah.
she is. And anytime you feel like you need to hear that, you just come back, okay?
Okay.
All right. The Real Hero's Journey book, if you can guys can afford, I want everybody to have a copy of it. We will give you a free copy if you can't afford it. But those of you who pay it, you're buying pizza from Mo. That I make most of my money writing. Yeah, do I make some money on some of the nonfiction things? Sure, of course I do. We sell courses, we do this, we do that. But I want to be able to be a resource in this way. It would make my heart very happy to be able to just know that every week I'm helping to take care of people. I'm encouraging you to take care of each other. That that you come here and we're not going to laugh at you. That we believe in you because we believe in ourselves and we feel ourselves connected to you. That none of us are alone. We're actually like mushrooms. That we seem to be individuals, but we're actually all part of the same mycelial mat. That not to put the final line on it, we love you, you know, and we want you to thrive. Thank you for sharing with us, Meg. It's always so good to see you. You're such a cutie pie. Okay. So in a half hour, in 33 minutes, I've got to do an interview, a Star Wars interview with a podcast. So I'll be resting my voice and stuff like that. But what I really like for you to do is unmute yourselves and say goodbye to everybody. Just like, just say, and thank you. This has been great. We had some real honesty today. We had some people actually sharing what's going on in their lives, and you're helping each other, and you let me help you. And I appreciate that trust more than I can say. The we try to do this every Friday. We'll see what happens next Friday. Tanana and I will be traveling to Denver for Mile High Con. So we might have a pre-recorded meeting, or we might, we'll see what it is. But we will be here for you. That's right, Mo. Live long and
Peace and
prosper.
long life. Thank you so much, Anna. CJ broke down. Thank you so much.
Love that boy.
You got that? You'll
Yes,
be okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We've got you.
Yeah,
Oh
All
Lord.
of us.
That's right. That's right. We got you, Mo. We've got you, Mo. And all we ask for is you take care of yourself, you take care of your son, and you come here and you support other people the way we support you. You do that, and you are 10 times paying me back for anything I've ever given to you.
God bless you. God bless you all, family. You just don't know, but if I can help,
I know.
mm,
We believe you, Mo. You send me your PayPal address. I'm
I
buying.
will do that. I
All
will
right.
do that. And I also ask my fellow writers, remember, Grindhouse and Ross and Steve, I'm not an editor. I just bring forth what's going on in my mind with Soul Bones. My email, Mo Barnes, I'm gonna put this in here real quick. If you guys can give me some feedback on Soul Bones, and I turned a nightmare last night from when I found out I was back in grade school, and there was a monster there, like if you think of an active shooter thing, but the person guiding us was actually the monsters.
So Mo, this is what I want you to do. I want everybody to
And
join the Facebook group, Firedance
Yeah.
Facebook group, so that you can talk at greater length and share things and so forth. We don't always have the time to be able to do
yes,
that,
sir.
but we
Yes, sir.
want to know and we care. So
Thank
I
you. I
close this
appreciate it.
today with the Sanskrit expression, that says that the divinity within me salutes and acknowledges the divinity within each and every one of you. You are all precious to me. Namaste. Take care. Be well.
Amen.
Take care, guys.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Well,
Peace.
Peace. And a
What
little
an
piece on the side.
incredible,
Everybody.
incredible meeting.